I never expected to fall in love at a house party. The music pulsed through the floorboards, and someone's expensive bourbon burned down my throat as I watched him from across the room. Ryan. Even his name felt different on my tongue when I first said it, like tasting something exotic and dangerous. "You're the only person here who looks as uncomfortable as I feel," he said, sliding onto the bar stool next to me. His smile had this way of making the chaos around us fade into white noise. "I'm Layla, and this is the story of how I destroyed the people who tried to destroy me." That night, the party swirled around us like we were caught in the eye of a hurricane. Ryan talked about his work in graphic design, his dreams of starting his own agency, how corporate life was slowly killing his creativity. I found myself leaning closer, drawn in by the passion in his voice, the way his hands moved when he spoke about art. "What about you?" he asked, refilling my glass without asking. "What drives you crazy enough to hide at the bar during the party of the year?" "Numbers," I said. "I'm an accountant. We're naturally antisocial." He laughed, and something inside me shifted. "I doubt that. You're just waiting for the right company." 3 hours later, we were sitting on the front steps, sharing a cigarette neither of us usually smoked. The summer air wrapped around us like a blanket, and I felt drunk on possibility more than alcohol. "My father would hate you," he said suddenly, studying my profile. "Is that a good thing?" "The best thing." He turned to face me fully. "Want to really piss him off?" I should have seen it then. The flash of something desperate in his eyes, the way he said father, like it was a curse word. But I was too busy falling. "How?" "Have dinner with me tomorrow. And the next day. And maybe every day after that until we figure out if this is as real as it feels." I said yes. Of course I said yes. That's how these stories always start, with a yes that should have been a no. The next few months were a blur of late-night conversations, shared dreams, and the kind of love that makes you forget who you were before it. Ryan proposed on a random Tuesday. No fancy restaurant, no rehearsed speech, just the two of us in his apartment eating takeout Chinese food. "Marry me," he said, between bites of Kung Pao chicken. "My parents will lose their minds, and I'll get to wake up to your face every morning. Win-win." I laughed, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. "I'm serious, Layla. Marry me. Be my escape plan." There it was again, that desperate edge I chose to ignore. I was too caught up in the romance of it all, the rebellious thrill of a spontaneous engagement. "Yes," I whispered, and his kiss tasted like sweet and sour sauce and promises. The first time I met his parents, Victor and Linda, they were perfectly pleasant. Too perfect. Linda hugged me like I was already family, while Victor's handshake lasted a fraction too long, his eyes assessing me like I was a business proposition. "An accountant," he said, rolling the word around his mouth like expensive wine. "How practical." "We're very proud of Ryan finding someone so responsible," Linda added, her smile never quite reaching her eyes. That dinner was the beginning of the end, though I didn't know it then. Every smile held a hidden agenda. Every compliment carried a price tag I would later have to pay. My father tried to warn me when I told him about the engagement. "Sometimes when things move too fast," he said, "it's because someone's running from something, or towards something they shouldn't." I dismissed his concerns. Thomas was always too cautious, too analytical. What did he know about passion, about the kind of love that makes you want to rebuild your whole world around another person? Now, standing in the cemetery 6 months later, watching them lower my father's casket into the ground, I finally understand what he meant. And I know exactly what I have to do about it. Moving in with Ryan happened faster than I could process the change. 1 minute I was boxing up my apartment, the next I was arranging my coffee mugs in our kitchen while his mother rearranged them behind my back. "The handles should all face right," Linda said, her perfectly manicured nails clicking against ceramic. "It's more efficient that way." Ryan's always been particular about organization. I bit back a laugh, thinking of Ryan's chaos of a desk at work, his scattered approach to everything except his art. But I said nothing, just watched her methodically turn each mug exactly 45 degrees. "We're so pleased you're joining the family," she continued, her voice honey-sweet. "Victor and I were worried Ryan would never settle down with someone suitable." The pause before suitable stretched just long enough to make my skin prickle. That evening, Victor and Linda insisted on hosting a housewarming dinner. I found myself seated at their formal dining table, surrounded by heavy silverware and weighted expectations. "Ryan tells me you're quite successful at your firm," Victor said, cutting into his steak with surgical precision. "Senior accountant at 28? Impressive." "Thank you. Though I always thought Ryan would end up with someone more creative, like himself." Linda's smile didn't waver as she twisted the knife. "But I suppose opposites attract." Ryan's hand found mine under the table, squeezing gently. But he said nothing to defend me, just reached for his wine glass with his free hand. "Actually," Victor leaned forward, "we might have an opportunity for your expertise, Layla. Our family's investment portfolio could use a fresh perspective." "Dad," Ryan started, but Victor waved him off. "Nothing major, son. Just some advice. Family helping family." He fixed me with a stare that reminded me of sharks I'd seen at the aquarium. That's what we're all about. Later that night, I found Ryan in his home office, staring at his computer screen without really seeing it. "Your parents seem invested in our relationship," I said carefully. "They mean well." His voice was tight. "They just want what's best for us." "And what do you want?" He finally looked at me, and for a moment I saw something like fear flash across his face. "I want—" He stood abruptly, pulling me into an embrace that felt more like escape than affection. "I want us to be happy, that's all." The next morning, I discovered Linda had let herself in while we were sleeping. She was in our kitchen, replacing our groceries with organic alternatives. "Oh, don't mind me," she chirped, tossing out my favorite coffee. "Just helping you get settled properly. Ryan has such sensitive digestion. Didn't he tell you?" He didn't, because he doesn't. I'd watched him devour street tacos and gas station sushi without consequence. But again, I said nothing. That became our pattern over the next few weeks. Victor and Linda appearing unannounced, making small changes, offering unsolicited advice wrapped in concern. Each time, Ryan would tense up but stay silent, leaving me to navigate their subtle manipulations alone. Then came the first financial favor. "It's just a small loan," Victor explained over Sunday brunch. "The country club's raising their annual fees, and with Linda's medical expenses this year." He trailed off, looking meaningfully at Ryan. "Medical expenses?" I asked, not remembering Linda mentioning any health issues. "Nothing serious," Linda jumped in, touching her throat dramatically. "Just some routine procedures. We'd ask Ryan, but with his creative career being so unstable." I felt Ryan shrink beside me, his shoulders hunching slightly. Before I could stop myself, I heard my voice say, "Of course we'll help. Family helps family, right?" Victor's smile was all teeth. "Exactly. We'll have the paperwork drawn up tomorrow." That night, I lay awake, listening to Ryan's steady breathing beside me. On my nightstand, my phone lit up with a text from my father. "Everything okay? You've seemed distant lately." I started to type, "I'm fine," but deleted it. Instead, I wrote, "Can we meet for coffee this week? Just us?" His response came immediately. "Name the time and place." As I set my phone down, Linda's voice echoed in my head. Family helps family. But whose family was I really helping? And at what cost? I rolled over, studying Ryan's profile in the darkness. He looked younger when he slept, more like the man I met at that party and less like the son who couldn't say no to his parents. I wondered if he knew what he was running from that night, or what he was running me toward. The spreadsheet on my laptop screen blurred as I stared at the numbers for the 10th time. 6 months of small loans to Victor and Linda had quietly ballooned into a sum that made my stomach clench. Each transaction came with a story. Linda's mysterious medical bills, Victor's business venture losses, emergency home repairs that somehow never showed visible results. My coffee had gone cold when my phone buzzed. Another text from Linda. "Darling, we simply must discuss the Christmas fund. The country club's charity gala needs our support." I closed my eyes, remembering last month's emergency when Victor claimed their investment group needed a quick cash injection. Ryan had nodded along, eyes fixed on his plate, while I wrote another check. The front door clicked open. Ryan's footsteps, then Linda's voice. My head snapped up. She was here in our house again. Mother thought she'd help me pick out a new suit for the firm's portfolio presentation, Ryan said, not quite meeting my eyes. We brought dinner. From that lovely French place, Linda added. Much better than that takeout you two always order. I stood up, closing my laptop. Ryan, could we talk privately for a moment? In our bedroom, I pulled up the spreadsheet on my phone. Have you seen these numbers? He glanced at the screen, then away. They're just temporary setbacks. Dad's investments will pay off soon. Like the last 3 were supposed to? My voice cracked. Ryan, we're hemorrhaging money. Your parents don't. His face hardened. Their family, they've supported me through everything. They're supporting themselves through us, I shot back. And you're letting them. A knock at the door made us both jump. Linda's voice drifted through. Everything all right in there? The soup's getting cold. Ryan's shoulders slumped. Coming, Mother. He turned to me, his voice barely a whisper. Please, Layla, just keep the peace. At dinner, Victor called. Linda put him on speakerphone, his voice filling our dining room like smoke. Wonderful news, he announced. The investment group has an incredible opportunity. Time sensitive, of course. We just need… No. The word escaped before I could stop it. Silence fell like a blade. I beg your pardon? Victor's voice went arctic. We can't. I forced myself to look at Linda's shocked face. We've already given so much. Given? Linda's laugh could have frosted glass. My dear, we're family. There's no giving or taking in family. There's only supporting each other. Then where's your support? The words tumbled out. Where's the money from the last 3 investments? The medical bills we never saw? The home repairs that… Layla! Ryan's voice held a warning. I opened my laptop, turned it toward them. Look at the numbers. Really look. Linda's face transformed, her mask slipping for just a moment to reveal something calculating beneath. Ryan, darling, your wife seems… stressed. Perhaps she's working too hard. I'm not… We understand, Linda cut in smoothly. First year of marriage is always an adjustment. Learning to put family first can be challenging for some people. Ryan sat silent, staring at his untouched soup. Your father and I only want what's best for both of you, Linda continued. Speaking of which, Ryan, remember that creative director position Victor mentioned, the one at his friend's agency? I watched my husband's spine straighten, interest flickering in his eyes. The hook, the bait, the trap, all laid out so perfectly. It would be such a shame if anything got in the way of that opportunity, Linda mused, her eyes fixed on me. Later that night, I sat alone in our darkened kitchen, my father's words from our coffee meeting echoing in my head. Sometimes the people closest to us can't see the cage they're in because they helped build it. My phone lit up with a text from my Aunt Karen. You okay, honey? You seemed off at Sunday dinner. Before I could respond, another message appeared, from Victor this time. Documentation for the new investment opportunity attached. Time sensitive. Family comes first. I opened my spreadsheet again, adding a new column. But this time, instead of tracking what they'd taken, I started calculating what it would cost to make them pay it all back. In our bedroom, Ryan slept soundly, unaware that beside him, his wife was finally waking up. The email from the bank arrived at 3:47 a.m. I'd been awake anyway, running numbers through my head like counting sheep, when my phone lit up the darkness. The subject line stopped my breath. Unauthorized account activity alert. Someone had drained our savings account. Every penny we'd set aside, gone in a single transfer. The timestamp showed it happened just hours after I'd refused Victor's latest investment scheme. My hands shook as I dialed Ryan's office number. It was early, but he'd mentioned working late on a project. 3 rings, then his voicemail. I tried his cell. Straight to voicemail. Everything all right, dear? Linda's voice floated through our bedroom door. She wasn't supposed to be here? Why was she here? I closed my laptop, tucking it under the bed before opening the door. Linda stood there in her designer suit, perfect makeup at 4 a.m, holding a steaming mug of coffee. Ryan called, she said, extending the mug. He's staying at our house tonight. The creative director position? They needed him to start immediately on a test project. I didn't take the coffee. The savings account is empty. Oh? Her eyebrows lifted with practiced concern. How dreadful! Though perhaps this is a sign you should let Victor handle the family finances. He has so much more experience. The pieces clicked together like a lock tumbling open. Ryan gave you the account passwords, didn't he? Family takes care of family, she said, her smile never wavering. Sometimes that means protecting people from their own limited perspective. My phone buzzed, a text from Ryan. It's for the best. Trust them. Trust me. I deleted the message without responding. Get out of my house. Our house, dear. The deed's in Ryan's name, remember? Linda set the coffee down, her movements precise and deliberate. Victor thought it best, given your emotional approach to money. I grabbed my keys and laptop, pushing past her. She caught my arm, her manicured nails digging in. Think carefully about your next move, she said softly. Ryan's new position? It depends entirely on family harmony. I yanked free, nearly running to my car. As I pulled away, I saw Linda in my rearview mirror, phone to her ear, that perfect smile still in place. My Aunt Karen's house was only 20 minutes away, but my hands trembled so badly I had to pull over twice. When I finally reached her driveway, she was already on the porch in her robe, arms crossed against the pre-dawn chill. Your father called, she said as I stumbled out of the car. He's been trying to reach you. My phone's been... I started, but she cut me off. There's something you need to know about Victor and Linda. She led me inside to her home office. Thomas has been investigating them for months. She pulled out a thick file. Your father may seem distant, but he notices things. After your wedding, he started digging. Victor's investment group? It doesn't exist. Neither do Linda's medical bills. They've done this before. To Ryan's previous fiancée. My stomach lurched. Previous? She disappeared 3 years ago. Left Ryan at the altar, supposedly, but your father found something. Karen hesitated. The timing of her departure coincided with a massive transfer from her accounts to an offshore holding company. Victor's company. I sank into a chair, remembering Linda's words. Family takes care of family. There's more, Karen said quietly. Thomas was planning to confront them tomorrow. He has evidence of at least 4 other cases, all young professionals, all married to people connected to Victor's social circle, all financially drained and discredited within a year of marriage. My phone buzzed again. Victor this time. Family meeting, 7 p.m., attendance mandatory. Karen read the message over my shoulder. You can't go back there. No, I said, something cold and clear crystallizing in my chest. I have to, but first I need everything in that file. Layla. They took everything from me, I said, surprised by how steady my voice sounded. Now I'm going to return the favor. As the sun rose, I started reading, making notes, building a plan. They thought they were destroying me. Instead, they were creating something far more dangerous. Someone with nothing left to lose. Karen's call came at midnight. Her voice cracked as she spoke. Layla, it's your father. There's been an accident. The hospital corridor stretched endlessly before me, fluorescent lights burning my eyes. I found Karen outside the ICU, clutching her phone like a lifeline. They're saying it was a brake failure, she whispered. He was driving home from a meeting with his lawyer. My blood turned to ice. What meeting? About Victor's case. He was going to file tomorrow. She pressed a USB drive into my palm. He wanted you to have this. Said if anything happened, don't. I closed my fingers around the drive. He'll tell me himself when he wakes up. The doctor's face told a different story. Words like extensive internal bleeding and critical condition floated past me. I stood at my father's bedside, watching machines breathe for the man who'd always been my foundation. My phone buzzed. Linda. Terrible news about Thomas. We're all praying for him. Family dinner still on for tomorrow? I switched off my phone and plugged in the USB drive at the nurse's station computer. Files upon files appeared. Financial records, photographs, sworn statements from Victor's previous victims. At the bottom, a video file. For Layla. My father's face filled the screen, recorded just hours before the accident. If you're watching this, something's happened to me. Victor's operation goes deeper than we thought. The others weren't just scammed, They were systematically destroyed, careers ruined, reputations shattered. The money was never the point. It's about power, about breaking people who might threaten his control. A nurse touched my shoulder, making me jump. "He's asking for you." I rushed back to find my father conscious, struggling to speak through his oxygen mask. His fingers trembled as they found mine. "The safe," he whispered. "Home office, code, your birthday." "Dad, save your strength." "Promise." His grip tightened. "Promise you'll be smarter than me. Don't let them see you coming." The monitors screamed before I could answer. Medical staff flooded the room, pushing me out. Through the chaos, I heard Karen crying. I drove to my father's house in a daze, the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. The home office still smelled like his cologne. The safe opened with a soft click. Inside, more files, a gun I never knew he owned, and a letter addressed to me. My phone came back to life with missed calls from Ryan. I answered on the final ring. "Where are you?" His voice held an edge I'd never heard before. "Mom and Dad are worried. My father is dying." "I know. I'm sorry. But..." He paused. "Dad needs to talk to you. About the accounts." "Which ones?" I kept my voice steady. "The real ones, or the offshore ones, where he hides the money he steals?" Silence stretched between us. Finally, "Come home, Layla. We can fix this." "Like you fixed your last fiancé's life?" Another pause. "Who told you about Sarah?" "My father did. Right before your parents had his brakes cut." "That's crazy. You're not thinking clearly." Ryan's voice softened to the tone he used when we first met. "Come home. Let us help you through this." I looked at the gun in the safe, then at my father's letter. "Okay," I said. "You're right. I'll be there soon." I hung up and opened the letter. Inside, a single sentence. "Remember what I taught you about chess? The queen protects herself by making others think she's vulnerable." My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Linda. "Hurry home, dear. The family needs to stick together in times like these." I tucked the gun into my bag, along with my father's files. They wanted a vulnerable queen? I'd give them one. But first, I had some pawns to sacrifice. The hospital called as I was leaving. I didn't need to answer. Karen's next text told me everything. "He's gone." I started my car, plotting my moves. Victor and Linda thought they were playing chess. They didn't realize we'd been playing different games all along. They wanted to break another piece on their board. Instead, they'd created their destroyer. Victor's study felt smaller than I remembered, the wood paneling closing in like a coffin. I sat across from him, my father's files spread between us on his mahogany desk, watching his face as he processed what I'd brought. "Quite the story you've constructed," he said finally, tapping the papers with one manicured finger. "Though I'm surprised you'd bring such accusations to me directly. Not very strategic." "I learned strategy from my father." I kept my voice steady. "Before you had him killed." He didn't flinch. "Grief can make us imagine terrible things, Layla. Though I must say Thomas's accident was unfortunate timing." Linda appeared in his doorway, Ryan hovering behind her like a shadow. "Darling, what's going on?" "Show them," I said to Victor. "Show them what you did to Sarah and the others." Ryan stepped forward. "Layla, you're not thinking clearly. 8 women," I cut him off. 8 lives destroyed. Did you know, Ryan? Or did you just look the other way like you always do? "That's enough." Victor's voice carried the crack of a gavel. "Linda, call Dr. Matthews. Clearly, Layla's father's death has triggered some sort of breakdown." I pulled out my phone, playing the video my father had recorded. His voice filled the room. "The evidence is conclusive. Victor's pattern of targeting young professionals, particularly through arranged marriages within his social circle." Linda's perfectly composed face cracked slightly. "Victor? It's obviously doctored." He snapped, but his hands were shaking as he reached for his desk drawer. "Like Sarah's suicide note?" I asked. "The one you forced her to write before she disappeared?" The gun appeared in Victor's hand so smoothly it seemed like a magic trick. "I won't let you destroy what I've built." Ryan finally moved, stepping between us. "Dad, put it down. We can fix this." "Fix it?" Victor laughed, an ugly sound. Like we fixed your other problems? Tell her, Ryan. Tell her why Sarah really left. I saw it in Ryan's face before he spoke. She was pregnant, he whispered. Dad said he'd handle it. The world tilted sideways. I grabbed the desk to steady myself, bile rising in my throat. Family protects family, Linda said mechanically, but her eyes were wild. We did what we had to do. And now? I forced the words out. Will you handle me too? You brought this on yourself, Victor said, the gun unwavering. We gave you every chance to be part of the family, to play your role. My role? I laughed, and it sounded like breaking glass. Like Ryan's role? Your puppet son who helps you trap women, drain them dry, and dispose of them? I loved them, Ryan protested weakly. All of them. I just couldn't stop it. Enough. Victor stood, the gun following my movement as I backed toward the door. Linda, call Matthews. Tell him we need to discuss having Layla committed. Grief-induced paranoia, threatening behavior, the usual story. My back hit the wall. All my careful plans, my father's evidence, useless against their practiced performance. They'd done this before. They'd do it again. You won't get away with this, I said, but the words sounded hollow even to me. We already have. Linda's smile was back, professional and practiced. Who would believe you? The unstable widow, driven mad by her father's tragic accident, making wild accusations against her loving family? Ryan wouldn't meet my eyes. His mother's hand rested on his shoulder, controlling him like a marionette. I trusted you, I said to him. I loved you. Love is weakness, Victor said. Control is power. That's what I taught my son, what I tried to teach you. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Karen's preset signal. Everything was in place, just as we'd planned. But looking at Victor's steady hand on the gun, at Linda's perfect mask, at Ryan's broken submission, I realized something my father had tried to warn me about. Revenge against people who feel no guilt is like throwing stones into an ocean. They don't sink, they drown you instead. The study door opened behind me. 2 men in white coats entered, followed by a distinguished-looking doctor. Matthews, I assumed. Right on cue. Mrs. Anderson? Matthews said gently. Your family is very worried about you. Why don't we go somewhere quiet and talk? I looked at my husband, my in-laws, these strangers who'd orchestrated my destruction with the precision of a symphony. And I smiled. They had no idea what was coming. The news broke during Victor's charity gala. As he stood at the podium, accepting applause for his generous donation, every phone in the ballroom lit up with the same notification. Breaking, local business mogul linked to multiple disappearances. I watched from my seat beside Ryan as Victor's face went ash gray. Linda's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. What have you done? Ryan whispered, gripping my arm. I smiled, remembering my father's words about chess. I learned from the best. Your family. The evidence my father had gathered wasn't just about Sarah or the money. It was about all of them. Every woman Victor had destroyed, every life Linda had helped dismantle. And now, thanks to Karen's connections at the newspaper, it was public. Victor abandoned his speech, moving through the crowd like a shark cutting through water. Linda followed, her perfect mask cracking with each step. They found us at our table, Victor's hands trembling with barely controlled rage. Outside. Now. His voice could have frozen hell. In the garden, away from prying eyes, Victor finally exploded. Do you have any idea what you've done? Exactly what you taught me, I said. Family protects family, right? I'm protecting the family you tried to destroy. Mine. We can fix this, Linda started, but I cut her off. Like you fixed Sarah? Or did you mean like you fixed my father's brakes? Ryan stepped between us. Layla, please. We can still... Still what? I turned to him. Still pretend you're not complicit? Still act like you didn't know what happened to your own child? The color drained from Linda's face. What did you say? Oh. I feigned surprise. Ryan didn't tell you? Sarah was pregnant when she disappeared. But you knew that already, didn't you, Victor? Linda turned to her husband, then her son. Victor? Ryan? It was necessary, Victor said, but his voice had lost its edge. The pregnancy would have complicated things. Complicated? Linda's perfect facade cracked completely. Our grandchild? The baby would have ruined everything, Ryan whispered. Dad said we had to protect the family name. Linda staggered back as if struck. For the first time, I saw her truly look at her husband, not as her partner in crime, but as the monster he was. The police have everything, I said quietly. Every document, every transaction, every disappeared woman. And Sarah? She's alive. My father found her before you killed him. She's testifying right now. Victor lunged for me, but Ryan caught him. Don't touch her. You ungrateful. Victor swung, his fist connecting with Ryan's jaw. As they struggled, Linda stood frozen, watching her perfect world implode. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. It's over, I said. The queen takes the king. Victor broke free from Ryan, reaching for something in his jacket. The gun appeared again, but this time Linda moved faster than anyone expected. She grabbed Victor's arm, forcing it up as the shot rang out into the night sky. No more, she said, her voice steel. No more deaths, no more lies. Police flooded the garden. As they led Victor away in handcuffs, he kept screaming about family loyalty, about weakness and power. Linda went quietly, her mask finally completely shattered. Ryan stood before me, blood trickling from his split lip. I loved you, he said. That part was real. Love without courage is just another form of fear, I replied. You taught me that too. As they led him away, I felt nothing. Not triumph, not satisfaction, not even relief. Just a hollow space where revenge had lived, waiting to be filled with something new. Karen found me later, sitting alone in the garden. Your father would be proud, she said softly. Would he? I looked at the stars. I'm not sure revenge is what he wanted for me. No, she agreed. He wanted you to be strong, and you are. Stronger than any of them. I touched the locket around my neck, the one containing the last photo of my father and me. The game isn't over yet, I said. There are other families out there like Victor's, other women who need protection. Karen smiled. Then let's get to work. The night air carried the scent of jasmine and justice. Somewhere in the distance, a clock struck midnight, marking the end of one game and the beginning of another. The courtroom emptied slowly, leaving me alone with the echo of the judge's verdict. Victor would serve 20 years. Ryan took a plea deal for 5. Linda turned state's evidence, trading her perfect life for immunity and redemption. I lingered, touching the polished wood of the witness stand where I'd told our story. Where Sarah had told hers, her hand protectively curved around her growing belly. Another chance at the family Victor had tried to destroy. You did well. Linda's voice startled me. She stood in the doorway, looking smaller without her designer suits and carefully crafted persona. Better than I ever could. Was any of it real? I asked. The warmth, the concern, the family dinners? Parts. She moved closer, her heels clicking against marble. I envied you, actually. Your strength. I spent 30 years building walls to protect myself. You built weapons instead. Is that why you helped the prosecution? I helped because... She touched the empty witness stand. Because Sarah wasn't the first. There was another baby before Ryan. Victor said we had to protect the family name. I've been paying for that choice ever since. The revelation hung between us like smoke. Finally, Linda reached into her bag, pulling out a familiar object. My father's watch. They found this in Victor's study, she said. He kept trophies. I thought you should have it back. My hands shook as I took it. The face was cracked from the impact of the crash, frozen at the moment my father's car went off the road. I never wanted, Linda started, but I cut her off. Don't, we both know exactly what you wanted. She nodded, accepting the weight of truth. What will you do now? Through the courthouse windows, I could see Karen waiting by her car. On the passenger seat lay files about other families like Victor's, other women who needed help. My father's last case wouldn't be his lead after all. I'm going to keep playing chess, I said. But this time, I'm changing the rules. Linda's lips curved in what might have been respect. Victor always said the queen was the most dangerous piece on the board. He was wrong. The most dangerous piece is the one that looks harmless until it's too late. She turned to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, I am sorry. About everything. I know, that's what makes it worse. After she left, I stood at the window, watching the city pulse with life. My phone buzzed. A text from Ryan. I never deserved you. I deleted it without responding. Some games aren't worth finishing. Karen honked the horn, impatient. The files in her car contained 3 new cases, 3 more families with secrets dark enough to kill for, 3 more chances to turn victims into victories. I touched my father's watch one last time before slipping it into my pocket. The face was broken, but the mechanism still worked, ticking away the moments between what was and what could be. Outside, the autumn air carried the scent of endings and beginnings. I thought of that house party where I'd first met Ryan, how easily I'd fallen for the promise of family, how expertly they'd played me. But they'd taught me more than they intended. About power, about patience, about the quiet satisfaction of watching carefully laid plans unfold. I slid into Karen's car, opening the first file. Another wealthy family. Another web of lies. Another chance to balance the scales. Ready? Karen asked. I smiled, thinking of Linda's words about queens and chess pieces, about the power of looking harmless until the perfect moment strikes. Ready, I said, and meant it. The city stretched before us, full of beautiful houses hiding ugly secrets, full of families like Victor's, who thought their money and influence made them untouchable, full of women who needed someone to show them how to fight back. They'd created their own worst enemy, teaching me their games, their rules, their weaknesses. Now I would use every lesson against them. The game wasn't over. It was just beginning. And this time I knew exactly how to play.
The screen of my husband's old phone illuminates my face in the darkness of our bedroom closet. 3 years after his death, and here I am, clutching his iPhone like it holds the answers to questions I never thought to ask. I'm Elizabeth, Liz to those who know me well, and what I'm about to discover will shatter everything I thought I knew about my family. Found something interesting? Nathan's voice cuts through the silence, making me jump. My eldest son leans against the doorframe, his silhouette blocking the hallway light. There's something in his tone that sends a chill down my spine. Just going through some old things. I slip the phone into my pocket, but Nathan's eyes follow the movement, thinking about donating them. He steps into the closet, too close for comfort. After 3 years seems sudden. Nothing sudden about grief, Nathan. I move past him, forcing casualness into my steps. Sometimes it takes years to let go. Or to start digging. His words follow me down the hallway. In the kitchen, I pour myself a glass of wine with trembling hands. The texts I found moments ago swim through my mind. Conversations between James, my late husband, and Mark Reynolds, his supposed best friend. Numbers, accounts, threats. My phone buzzes. Lucas, my younger son. Mom, you okay? Nathan just called me, said you were acting weird. I stare at the message. Of course Nathan would call Lucas. He always does when he's worried I might discover something. I type back. All good. Having dinner with Sarah tomorrow. Love you. Sarah, my sister-in-law, needs to see these messages. As a lawyer, she'll understand their implications better than I can. But there's something else gnawing at me. Nathan's name appeared in those texts too many times to be coincidental. The doorbell rings, startling me from my thoughts. Through the peephole, I see Emily, Nathan's fiancée, standing on my porch with that perfect smile of hers. Elizabeth! She hugs me as I open the door, her designer perfume overwhelming. I was just passing by and thought I'd check on you. Nathan mentioned you seemed upset earlier. I force a smile. That's sweet of you both, but I'm fine. Just sorting through some memories. Of course. Her eyes dart past me into the house. Mind if I use your bathroom? These pregnancy hormones, you know. I gesture toward the hallway, watching as she disappears inside. My future daughter-in-law, carrying my first grandchild, and yet something about her presence here feels calculated. When she emerges, her smile seems different. Thanks. Oh, and Nathan asked me to grab that old phone of James's if you still had it. He mentioned wanting to check for some old family photos. My hand instinctively touches my pocket. I haven't come across it yet. Still lots of boxes to go through. No worries, she chirps, but her eyes narrow slightly. I'm sure it'll turn up. After she leaves, I pull out James's phone again. The last message from Mark catches my eye. N knows everything. We need to move faster. Your wife can't find out about the transfers. My fingers hover over Sarah's number. Tomorrow suddenly feels too far away. But as I reach for my keys, another text from Nathan appears. Mum, Emily said you seemed tired. Get some rest. We can talk about Dad's things tomorrow. I set the phone down, my mind racing. They're watching me, trying to control what I discover and when. But they don't know what I've already found, or what I'm capable of doing with that information. 3 years of grieving my husband, and now I'm about to uncover just how many lies died with him, and how many are still living in my own home. Sarah's law office feels too sterile for the conversation we're about to have. I slide James's phone across her desk, my finger hovering over the messages that have haunted me since yesterday. Before you read these, I say, I need to know if attorney-client privilege applies to sisters-in-law. Sarah's eyes narrow as she picks up the phone. It does when I'm officially retained. She pulls out a notepad, writes 1 on it, and slides it to me with a pen. Sign here. I do, and watch her face as she scrolls through the messages. Her professional mask slips for just a moment, showing something between shock and anger. Nathan's involved in this? She asks, though it's not really a question. That's what I need to find out. I lean forward. Emily showed up at my house last night asking for that phone, said Nathan wanted it for family photos. Sarah's laugh is sharp. Family photos. Right. She sets the phone down carefully. These messages suggest James and Mark were moving substantial amounts of money. The timestamps. She pauses, checking dates. These continued right up until James's accident. The word accident hangs between us. I've never questioned it before, but now. My phone buzzes. Nathan. Mom, we need to talk. Coming over for dinner tonight. Important business opportunity to discuss. He's coming over tonight, I tell Sarah. Wants to discuss business. Don't let him know what you've found. Sarah starts writing rapidly. We need to track these transfers before... The office door opens. Mark Reynolds stands there, his usual confident smile faltering when he sees me. Sarah, I had a quick question about... He trails off, his eyes fixed on James's phone on the desk. Mark. I stand slowly. What a coincidence. Elizabeth. He recovers quickly. Too quickly. How are you holding up? Nathan mentioned you've been going through James's things. Of course Nathan mentioned it. Did he tell you what I found? Mark's smile doesn't waver, but his hand tightens on the doorknob. I should come back later, Sarah. Elizabeth, always good to see you. After he leaves, Sarah's typing furiously on her computer. He'll warn Nathan. Good. I gather my things. Let him. I want to see what story they come up with. That evening, I'm chopping vegetables when Nathan arrives. He brings wine, expensive wine, and Emily trails behind him, already playing with her engagement ring like she always does when she's nervous. Mom, Nathan starts, pouring 3 glasses. We need to talk about Dad's estate. What about it? I keep chopping, not looking up. I've been thinking about his legacy, about building something that would make him proud. Nathan's voice has that smooth quality it gets when he's pitching something. I've found investors willing to back a new venture, but we need initial capital. How much? I ask, finally looking at him. Just what's in the trust, temporarily. He smiles. James's smile, but somehow wrong. It's a sure thing, Mom. Emily's father's firm is backing it. Emily nods enthusiastically. Daddy says it's the opportunity of a lifetime. I set down the knife. Like the opportunity Mark Reynolds discussed with Dad? The silence is absolute. Nathan's smile freezes, then transforms into something harder. You've been talking to Mark? No. I reach for my phone, pull up the messages. But Dad was. Right until the day he died. Emily stands abruptly. I should give you two some privacy. Stay. Nathan's voice is sharp. Mom's obviously confused about some old business dealings. The only thing I'm confused about, I say, is whether you started helping them steal from us before or after your father died. Nathan's glass hits the counter hard enough to crack. You have no idea what you're talking about. Dad's business was complicated. Was the accident complicated too? The words escape before I can stop them. Nathan's face goes white, then red. How dare you? I loved Dad. Everything I'm doing for this family. Nathan, Emily tugs at his arm, maybe we should go. He shakes her off. No, Mom needs to understand. Dad's way of doing things, your way of doing things, it's not enough. The world doesn't work like that anymore. I look at my son, really look at him, and for the first time, I see a stranger. Get out of my house. Mom, get out. Both of you. After they leave, I text Sarah. It's worse than we thought. Nathan knows everything. Her response comes quickly. Don't confront him again. I'm pulling the trust records tomorrow. And Elizabeth? Be careful. Mark's been asking questions about James's accident report. Lucas's studio apartment smells of turpentine and coffee when I arrive with Sarah's files. He takes one look at my face and clears his easel from the kitchen table. You found something bad, he says, not a question. I spread out the bank statements Sarah uncovered. Your brother and Mark Reynolds have been systematically draining Dad's estate for months, even before. My hands shake as I point to a series of transfers. The last one was made an hour before the accident. Lucas studies the papers, his artist's hands tracing the numbers. Nathan always said Dad promised to fund his business ventures. These aren't business ventures. I pull out another document. Sarah traced the money. It's being funneled through shell companies, then disappearing into offshore accounts. Mom, Lucas's voice is gentle. What aren't you telling me? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Meet me at James's grave. Noon. Come alone. Mark. Lucas reads it over my shoulder. You can't go. I have to. I gather the papers. Mark knows something about the accident. I saw his face when I mentioned it to Nathan. Then I'm coming with you. No. I touch his cheek, remembering when he was small enough to carry. I need you to do something else. Go to Emily's father's office. Find out what you can about their investment firm. Emily's father? Lucas frowns. What does he have to do with this? Nathan said he's backing the venture, but according to Sarah's research, his firm declared bankruptcy 3 months ago. The cemetery is empty when I arrive, except for Mark standing at James's grave. He looks older than I remember, haunted. Elizabeth. He doesn't turn around. I was hoping you wouldn't dig this deep. Tell me about the accident. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. His voice cracks. James found out what we were doing. He was going to expose everything. My world tilts. What are you saying? Nathan came to me first, 6 months before, had this brilliant investment scheme, needed startup capital. Mark laughs bitterly. I saw an opportunity, used him to access James's accounts, but James figured it out. And you killed him. No, Mark turns, face ashen. God, no. We just needed him to back off. Nathan said he'd talk to him, make him understand. The brake lines, that wasn't part of the plan. The ground seems to sway beneath my feet. Nathan tampered with the brakes? He said it would just scare James, force him to listen. But the road that night? Mark stops, looking past me. Elizabeth, behind you. I turn to see Nathan standing there, Emily beside him. His face is a mask I don't recognize. I wondered how long it would take you to crack, Mark. Nathan's voice is ice. Mum, you shouldn't believe everything you hear. Mark's been unstable since Dad died. Guilt does funny things to people. Nathan, Emily tugs his sleeve. We should go. No. He shakes her off. Mum needs to understand. Everything I did, everything Dad died trying to stop, it was all for us. The family legacy he was too scared to build. You killed him. The words taste like ash. Your own father. I tried to reason with him. Nathan's composure cracks. He wouldn't listen, just like you won't listen. The money's gone, Mom. All of it. And if you don't help me fix this, Emily's father will destroy what's left of our family's reputation. My father? Emily steps back. Nathan, what are you talking about? The bankruptcy was a front, he snarls. Your father's been laundering money through my companies. If I don't deliver, he'll expose everything. I watch my son unravel, this stranger wearing Nathan's face. Behind him, Emily backs away, horror dawning in her eyes. Mark stands frozen at James's grave. My phone buzzes. A text from Lucas. Mom, get out of there. Emily's father isn't bankrupt. He's FBI. They've been investigating Nathan and Mark for months. I look up to see Nathan reading the same message over Emily's shoulder. Our eyes meet, and in that moment, I see the little boy who once needed me to check under his bed for monsters. But now I know where the real monsters are. Nathan, I say softly, what have you done? The FBI office is sterile and cold, much like the truth I'm about to share. Agent Sanders, Emily's father, sits across from me, his expression unreadable as Sarah arranges documents on the table between us. Mrs. Turner, he says, we need to discuss your options. Options. Such a clean word for such a messy situation. You mean whether I'll testify against my own son? Nathan's involvement goes deeper than you know. He slides a folder across the table. These transactions suggest James's death wasn't the impulsive act Mark described. My hands won't stop shaking as I open the folder. Insurance policies, offshore accounts, a second will I've never seen before. He planned it, I whisper, months in advance. Mom. Lucas's voice from the doorway makes me turn. He looks exhausted, paint still under his fingernails from his latest piece. Emily's here. She enters like a ghost, her engagement ring conspicuously absent. Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Not at first. When did you figure it out? The question comes out sharper than I intend. 3 months ago. She won't meet my eyes. Nathan started talking about James's accident differently, like it was necessary. When I told Dad, you were already working with the FBI. The pieces click into place. That's why you pushed for the pregnancy announcement. We needed Nathan to accelerate his plans. Agent Sanders' voice is professional, detached. The pregnancy gave him a reason to push for access to the remaining trust funds. My laugh sounds hollow even to me. And I thought he was just being an eager father. Sarah touches my arm. Elizabeth, you need to decide. Nathan's meeting with Mark tonight. The FBI can move in, but your testimony would destroy him. I finish for her. But he destroyed himself the moment he decided to kill his father. My phone buzzes. Nathan. Mom, I can explain everything. Meet me at the house. Just you. Please. I show the message to Agent Sanders. He nods to someone outside the room and suddenly there's activity everywhere. Agents donning vests, checking weapons. Mrs. Turner, Agent Sanders says, we can handle this without you. You don't have to. Yes. I do. I stand, feeling older than my years. He's still my son. The drive home feels eternal. FBI vehicles shadow me discreetly, but I've never felt more alone. Lucas wanted to come, but this is between Nathan and me. It always has been, really. This dance of expectations and disappointments. The house is dark when I arrive, except for the kitchen light. Through the window, I see Nathan sitting at the counter, head in his hands. For a moment, he looks 16 again, worried about college applications and basketball tryouts. Then he looks up and the illusion shatters. You're wearing a wire. It's not a question. Yes. He nods slowly. Did you ever wonder why Dad never let me into the business? Why he always kept me at arm's length? He was protecting you. He was controlling me. Nathan's fist hits the counter. Everything I did was wrong, too aggressive, too risky. But look what his caution got him, a middling company and a legacy of mediocrity. It got him killed, the words hang between us, by his own son. I gave him a chance to understand. Nathan's voice turns pleading. Mum, everything I did was to make us stronger, to build something worthy of the Turner name. And Emily? Was she part of the plan? Something flickers in his eyes. Where is she? With her father. At the FBI office. The change is instant. Nathan's face hardens and I see James's killer emerge. You're working with them. No, Nathan, I'm your mother. I'm trying to save what's left of you. Save me. He laughs, and it's a terrible sound. Mom, there's nothing left to save, but I can still save you. From what's coming next. His hand moves toward his jacket, and suddenly I understand. This isn't about explanation or redemption. It's about silencing the last witness who could destroy everything he's built. Nathan, I say softly, backing toward the door. What would your father think? Let's ask him. He pulls out the gun. After all, you'll be seeing him soon. The gallery walls are stark white, making Lucas's paintings burn with even more intensity. I watch him adjust the lighting on his centerpiece. A fractured family portrait where every face is turned away except one. My face staring out from the canvas with eyes that know too much. The opening's tomorrow, Lucas says, not turning around. Nathan will come. The FBI will be here too. I step closer to the painting. Hidden in plain sight, just like the truth was all these years. Mom! Lucas finally faces me. You don't have to be here. Sarah can handle... I need to see his face. My voice sounds strange even to me. When everything falls apart, I need to watch it happen. My phone buzzes. Mark, Nathan knows about tomorrow. He's not planning to surrender quietly. Before I can respond, Emily appears at the gallery entrance, her face pale. Elizabeth, we have a problem. Nathan's been to see my father. What did he offer? Everything. She moves closer, lowering her voice. Names, dates, accounts, everything about Mark's operation, in exchange for immunity. The betrayal shouldn't surprise me anymore, but it still cuts deep. And your father? Refused. But Nathan... She glances at the painting. He laughed, said if he's going down, he's taking everyone with him, including Lucas. My blood runs cold. What does Lucas have to do with this? The gallery. Emily's hands twist together. Nathan's been laundering money through art sales. He's been using Lucas's name, his reputation, for months. Lucas drops his tools with a clatter. That's why those collectors were so eager to pre-purchase everything. They weren't real buyers. No. Emily looks away. They were Nathan's partners. Tomorrow night, when the sales go through, Lucas would be implicated in everything. The pieces click into place with horrible clarity. Nathan's using his own brother as a fall guy. My phone buzzes again. Sarah. Police found Mark. He's dead. Apparent suicide, but nothing about this family is what it appears to be anymore. Cancel the opening, I tell Lucas. We'll find another way to... No. Lucas's voice is firm. This ends tomorrow. All of it. He turns to the painting, and I see James in his stance, in his determination. The same determination that got his father killed. Lucas, please. My voice breaks. I can't lose both my sons. You already lost one. He touches the canvas, tracing the turned-away faces. The brother I knew died the day he decided to kill Dad. What's left is just... shadow. Emily's phone chimes. Her face goes ashen as she reads. Nathan's just posted online. He's exposed everything, the money laundering, Mark's death, all of it. But he's twisted it, made it look like Lucas was the mastermind, using his art to hide the operation. The evidence... I start, but she cuts me off. Doesn't matter, the story's out there now. By tomorrow night, everyone will believe Lucas is guilty. I look at my younger son, still standing before his work. The gallery lights cast his shadow long and dark against the white walls, like a prophecy of what's to come. Then we change the ending, I say, an idea forming. Nathan wants to destroy his brother's reputation. Let's give him exactly what he expects. Mom? Lucas turns, wary. The opening continues as planned, but instead of your usual pieces, I gesture to the family portrait, we tell the real story, every painting, every piece, the truth about Nathan, about James, about all of it. He'll try to stop us, Emily warns. I'm counting on it. I pull out my phone, texting Agent Sanders. Nathan wants an audience for his revenge. Tomorrow night, he'll have one. Lucas studies me for a long moment. This could destroy everything. The gallery, my career. Your father died protecting this family's secrets. I touch his cheek. Maybe it's time we stopped protecting them too. As I leave the gallery, I pass the family portrait one last time. In the harsh lighting, the turned-away faces seem to mock me, while my painted eyes stare back with a challenge I finally understand. Tomorrow we all face forward. Tomorrow we all see the truth, even if it kills us. The gallery buzzes with voices and champagne glasses, a perfect facade of normalcy. I watch from near Lucas's centerpiece as Sarah positions the FBI agents among the crowd. Agent Sanders stands by the entrance, Emily at his side, both pretending to admire a particularly haunting piece, Nathan as a child, his face half in shadow. "He's here," Lucas murmurs, appearing at my elbow. Nathan moves through the crowd like smoke, greeting people with that perfect smile of his. The smile that convinced everyone, including me, for so long. He pauses at each painting, his expression growing darker as he realizes what Lucas has done. Turned every canvas into a piece of evidence, every brush stroke an accusation. "Quite a show," Nathan says, reaching us. "Though I expected more subtlety from you, little brother." "Like the subtlety of framing me for money laundering," Lucas doesn't back down. "Speaking of money," Nathan's eyes find mine. "The transfers are already processing. By midnight, the gallery's accounts will be empty. Every sale, every commission, gone, along with proof of where it all really went." My hand tightens on my glass. "It's over, Nathan. The FBI are too late." He smiles, genuine this time. "Did you really think I'd come here without insurance? Check your phone, Mom." The text message makes my blood freeze. Video footage of James the night he died, arguing with Nathan in his office. The timestamp matches the accident perfectly. "I've set it to release to every major news outlet at midnight," Nathan continues. Dad's last moments, proof that Lucas knew everything about the money laundering, the grieving artist corrupted by greed. They'll love it. "That video's edited," I say, but my voice shakes. "Prove it." Nathan sips his champagne. "Oh, wait, you can't, because the original footage died with Mark. Funny how evidence has a way of disappearing." Lucas steps forward, but I grab his arm. Across the room, I see Agent Sanders moving closer, Emily's face tight with tension. "You'd destroy your own brother?" I ask. "Everything he's worked for?" "Like Dad tried to destroy me." Nathan's mask slips, showing something raw beneath. "He chose Lucas over me every time, the good son, the artist, while I had to fight for every scrap of approval." "So you killed him." "I freed us." Nathan's voice drops lower. "From his control, his disappointment. I could have freed you too, Mom, if you'd just trusted me." "Trust you." The laugh tears from my throat. "You murdered your father, set up your brother. How many more people have to suffer for your freedom?" "Just one more." He sets down his glass. "At midnight, when those transfers complete, Lucas's career ends. The scandal will destroy him. Unless what? Unless you confess." Nathan's eyes gleam. "To everything. The money laundering, Mark's death, all of it. A mother's desperate attempt to protect her favourite son, using the other as a scapegoat. The press will eat it up." The gallery seems to spin around me. "You want me to confess to your crimes? I want you to choose finally between your sons." He checks his watch. "You have 10 minutes before the video releases, 10 minutes to save Lucas's future." I look at Lucas, seeing James in his eyes, in his strength, then at Nathan, my firstborn, now a stranger wearing my son's face. "Mom, don't," Lucas whispers. But I'm already stepping forward, reaching for Nathan's phone. He lets me take it, that triumphant smile growing. "Agent Sanders," I call out, my voice carrying across the gallery. "I believe this is what you've been waiting for." Nathan's smile freezes as FBI agents converge. "The phone's locked. You can't." "James taught me something you never learned," I say, watching his face. "Always have a backup plan." I press my thumb to the phone's scanner. It unlocks instantly. "Dad gave me access to everything after he discovered what you were planning." I tell him, including this phone. The real video is here, showing exactly what happened that night. Nathan lunges for the phone, but it's too late. On every screen in the gallery, the truth begins to play, and I watch my son's perfect world crumble, knowing that in saving one son, I've lost the other forever. The holding cell's fluorescent lights make Nathan look older, harder. I sit across from him while Sarah stands by the door, her legal pad untouched. The DA's offering a deal, I say, sliding the papers across the metal table. In exchange for information about Mark's death. Nathan's laugh is hollow. Still trying to save me, Mom? After everything? I'm trying to understand. My hands rest flat on the table, steady now. Mark's confession was found in his car. He claimed he manipulated you, used your ambition. Used me? Nathan leans forward, chains rattling. I used him. Just like I used Emily, used Lucas's gallery. Dad taught me well. Everything's a tool if you know how to grip it. Your father never... My father was weak. His fist hits the table. He had everything, connections, power, respect, and he wasted it on morality. On Lucas's art. On your perfect little family. Sarah steps forward. Nathan, think carefully about what you say next. Why? His eyes lock onto mine. Because it might hurt Mom's feelings? Because it might ruin what's left of our family name? He laughs again. Tell me, Mom, how does it feel knowing you raised a murderer? The question hits like a physical blow, but I keep my voice steady. I raised 2 sons. One of them killed his father. The other one helped catch him. Lucas, Nathan spits the name. The golden child. Did he tell you he knew? About the money laundering? About Emily working with the FBI? He knew for months. Watched me dig my own grave. He tried to warn you. He tried to control me. Just like Dad did. Nathan's mask cracks completely. Do you know what Dad said that night? That I was a disappointment, that everything I touched turned toxic. So I showed him just how toxic I could be. My hand moves to my throat, where James's wedding ring hangs on a chain. You tampered with his brakes. I gave him a choice. Nathan's voice drops to a whisper. Back off, or take the consequences. He chose wrong. And Mark? Outlived his usefulness. Started having regrets, talking about confessions. A cold smile. Amazing how guilty people get when they realize they're working with a murderer. Sarah's pen scratches across her pad. Nathan notices his smile widening. Writing this all down, Aunt Sarah? Good. Make sure you include how Mum's perfect parenting created this monster. How Dad's constant disappointment shaped me. How Lucas's talent poisoned everything. No, I stand slowly. You don't get to blame us for your choices. Choices? He laughs. Like the choice you made at the gallery, sacrificing one son to save the other. I chose justice. You chose Lucas. Like always. His chains rattle as he stands. But here's what you don't know, Mom. That video you found, the one that exposed everything, I wanted you to find it. My breath catches. What? Dad's phone, the texts, Emily's involvement, all of it was bait. I needed you to play your part, to be so focused on saving Lucas that you wouldn't see the bigger picture. Sarah steps forward. Nathan, stop talking. But he continues, eyes fever bright. While you were all focused on the gallery, on the money laundering, my real operation was moving offshore. Everything Dad built, everything he protected, it's gone. And the best part? It's all legal. Because you, Mom, signed it all away 3 months ago. The memory hits me. Papers Nathan had me sign during Lucas's first gallery showing, when I was distracted with pride and champagne. Power of attorney, he says softly. You gave me everything, and now I own what's left of Dad's legacy, what's left of his precious reputation. Sarah's already on her phone, but I can see in her face it's too late. I look at my son, this stranger wearing Nathan's face, and finally understand. This wasn't about money or power or even revenge. It was about destroying everything James loved, piece by piece, starting with me. The prison visiting room smells of industrial cleaner and stale coffee. Nathan sits across from me, orange jumpsuit stark against his pale skin. This isn't a scheduled visit. He requested it, his first contact since the sentencing 6 weeks ago. "You look tired," he says. "Selling a company takes work." I keep my voice neutral. "Even one that's been gutted. Is that why you're here? To tell me how you salvaged Dad's legacy? I'm here because you asked." I study his face, searching for my son beneath the stranger's mask. Though I don't know why. Nathan's fingers drum the table, a nervous habit from childhood. Emily's pregnant, for real this time. The news hits like a physical blow. How far along? 4 months. She didn't know during everything. He won't meet my eyes. She's moving away, doesn't want the baby growing up with my name. I think of James, of all the grandchildren he'll never meet. "What do you want from me, Nathan?" "The truth." His voice cracks slightly. "Did Dad ever say he was proud of me? Even once?" "He was proud of who you could have been." The words taste bitter. "But you chose to become someone else. Someone stronger. Someone alone." Silence stretches between us. Through the window, I watch Lucas in the parking lot, waiting by the car. He's sold every painting from that gallery showing except one, the family portrait with the turned-away faces. "Lucas's new gallery opens next week," I say, "in Dad's old office building." Nathan's laugh is hollow. "Fitting. The prodigal son inherits everything." "He inherited nothing. I sold everything you left us, donated it all." Now he looks at me. "Your father's legacy isn't buildings or bank accounts. It's the choice between right and wrong. The choice you failed to make." "And you?" His eyes narrow. "Did you make the right choice, turning in your own son?" "I chose justice, like your father would have." "Justice?" Nathan leans back. "Tell me, Mom, was it justice when you signed those papers without reading them? When you let your pride in Lucas blind you to what I was doing? When you—" "Stop!" I stand, my chair scraping loud against the floor. "You don't get to rewrite this story. Your father is dead because of your choices. Mark is dead because of your choices. That's your legacy, Nathan. Not Dad's company, not Lucas's success. Just choices and consequences." He's silent for a long moment. "The baby's a boy." The words hang between us like smoke. I reach into my bag, pull out an envelope. "What's this?" "Letters. From your father to you. He wrote them every birthday, never sent them." I place them on the table. "I found them in his study last week." Nathan's hand shakes as he touches the envelope. "Why show me these now?" "Because you need to understand what you destroyed." I move toward the door. "And because that baby deserves to know there was good in his family, once." "Mom," his voice stops me. Will you tell Lucas about the baby?" "Yes." "Will you tell him about these letters?" I look back at my son, seeing for the first time a glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. "No. Some secrets should stay buried with their consequences." Outside, Lucas helps me into the car. "You okay?" I touch James's ring around my neck. "Drive to the gallery. I want to see that painting again." At the gallery, I stand before the family portrait. But now, in the harsh light of truth, I see what I missed before. The turned-away faces aren't hiding. They're looking towards something in the distance, something beyond the frame. While my painted eyes stare straight ahead, seeing everything, bearing witness. Just like James would have wanted. Lucas touches my shoulder. "Ready to go home?" "Yes," I say, turning away from the past and its shadows. "I'm ready." Behind us, the painting watches with knowing eyes, holding its secrets close, just as our family always has. Just as we always will.